We're excited to be reviewing the new Braava Jet M6 mopping robot from iRobot. It's been totally upgraded from the previous versions, and among other things, it now works in tandem with the i7 and S9 robot vacuum lines. We put it through some cleaning tests, and this video will be the results and our review, so links in the description for current prices, and let's get started. First, let's go over the features and a little about how it works. The M6 comes with 4 disposable mopping pads. 2 are for dry mopping and 2 are for wet mopping, though you can also buy more permanent washable mopping pads separately. The robot knows which type you attach and automatically adjusts the mode. In wet mopping mode, you fill up the tank with water or a water solution mix. The M6 travels a few feet, then sprays the solution, mops it up, sprays the solution again, and so on. It does all this in straight, efficient lines while mapping the house and avoiding obstacles, just like iRobot's high-end smart robot vacuums. You can adjust the amount of solution it sprays each time from low to medium or high in the app, though I found that it was really efficient with its water usage even in full spray mode, and even after large jobs it had a nearly full tank. You can also adjust the amount of passes you want. The so-called extended mode, the fastest mode, is basically the same number of passes as a robot vacuum. 1 pass, then it moves over about the length of the mopping pad and makes another pass. With the medium clean mode, so-called standard mode, the passes have a much more overlapping pattern and the process takes longer. And with the deep clean mode, the passes are extremely close together. iRobot says it's 5 times more than the extended mode. And considering that the extended mode, the fastest mode, took 35 minutes to finish this room, you need to be prepared for a pretty long mopping job if you're using the deep clean mode. That brings us to a cool new feature on the M6. It's now equipped with a camera and the same mapping capabilities as the top-of-the-line Roombas like the i7 and the S9. For example, the M6 is the first Braava Jet that can clean really large houses because not only does it have an upgraded battery, but it also has recharge and resume, meaning that if it's running low on battery, it will return to the dock, recharge, and then resume exactly where it left off. And it knows where it left off because it has the full mapping capabilities of Imprint technology, including room select, where you can tell it to mop certain rooms while avoiding others. It also has something called Imprint Link technology, which basically just means that in the app, if you're about to start the mop and you own an i7 or S9 robot vacuum, it will ask you if you want to vacuum first, and if so, it will start the robot vacuum. Then, when it finishes its job, it sends a signal to the M6, which will then begin its job. So let's move on to the tests. I sprinkled coffee, grape juice, and V8 juice on white PVC board and let it dry overnight. We found in the past that dried coffee is the easiest to clean, with grape juice next and dried on V8 being really difficult for some reason. I ran this on standard mode, so the middle number of passes with the maximum amount of spray, and I have to tell you I was pretty impressed. It picked up the coffee with seemingly no trouble at all. The grape juice was tougher, but by the end of its run it was completely gone. The V8 juice was almost but not quite removed after only 1 run. To appreciate how good I think this is, check out how the Roborock E35 did on the same test. Now, the Roborock E35 is first and foremost a vacuum, but it can be converted to a mop by filling the tank with water, which then seeps into the pad. So the way I see it, because of the overlapping passes of the Braava M6, its first run was equivalent of 2 passes of the Roborock E35. And after 2 passes of the Roborock, it was nowhere near as good as the M6. In fact, I ran the Roborock once more, so for a total of 4 passes, double what the Braava did, and at the end there was still coffee stains, let alone grape and V8. So I have to say that the M6 is really doing something right. I did try to do an under glass shot, but the area was too small, so the programming of the Braava didn't register enough area to spray water, so it was a busted experiment. I did test the M6 in our robot vacuum testing area, and here we find some more things to praise as well as a few things to nitpick. On the plus side, it was really good at coverage and navigation. Not only did it cover the entire area, it was smart enough to know what areas it had missed during the first part of its run. For example, just before it ended its run, it knew there was a spot under the table it had missed, and it ran over there and got it before docking. On that point, it seemed to have a similar obstacle algorithm as the S9, which we really liked, with regard to table legs and other obstacles. So this is the second time I've uploaded this video. In the first video, this is the point where I started to talk about some of the negative things. The first thing I mentioned was that the M6 would not be able to distinguish hard floors from carpets, so you would either have to extensively prep your house by removing rugs or blocking off carpeted areas with iRobot's dual mode virtual wall barriers, Well, since then, I've realized that the M6 is a lot cooler than I initially thought it was. Number one, it can actually tell if it hits a patch of carpet, and then it navigates around it. And I'm talking even the flimsy bath mat in our test room. Basically, it avoided all 3 carpeted surfaces in this test without me having to tell it to do anything. The second part to this is that I just realized that iRobot is starting to roll out a feature called Keep Out Zones, which are like similar features we've seen where you draw barriers in an app and it will keep the robot from going where you don't want it to go, like carpeted rooms. It's being released this week on beta for i7 robot vacuums, but it's supposed to roll out to many of iRobot's vacuums via an app update, including the M6 this summer. Basically, all this is an absolutely amazing set of features for a mopping robot to have, that it can physically avoid rugs, and that an app feature will be available in a future update that can add virtual barriers. All in all, though, I found the M6 to be a massive upgrade from the previous versions, mainly because the previous Braavas could not dock on their own and were never really meant for whole house cleaning. And of course, it has the camera and the full mapping capabilities of a smart robot. The cleaning was magnificent, much better than I'd seen previously, but I would recommend buying the washable microfiber pads sold separately, as you will quickly run out of the 2 wet mopping disposable pads that are included, and you would spend a fortune on disposable pads if you go that route. It seems like the M6 is the best mopping robot from iRobot yet. Links in the description, and consider a subscription to Vacuum Wars to keep up with all the latest robot vacuums, regular vacuums, and carpet cleaners. Thanks for watching.